All right, what's up, everybody? Hey, give me a minute here. I'm going to send that YouTube link out to you guys. I posted the Facebook one in the WhatsApp chat, but for some reason, these links were giving me some trouble today. So I'm going to kick this call off here in like 10 more seconds as I get a chance to send this link out. But if you guys go to the company YouTube page, it should be there for you. So let's see here. There it is. Okay, cool. I'm dropping it in the WhatsApp chat for you guys to shoot out to your teams here. There we go. Gotta love technology, right? Okay, cool. Hey, that should be there for you guys. So if you got me loud and clear, let me know in the WhatsApp chat. The links are posted there, but you can tune in at any time here, either on Facebook or on YouTube. So what a week it's been on Halloween. Shout out to you guys for getting out there and getting after it yesterday. I love seeing all the costumes of you and of your little ones out there trick-or-treating and having fun. So hopefully you got a lot of candy. Hopefully you were able to have some fun out there. It was finally nice out. The past few Halloweens, it's been raining, cold, snowy. So I'm grateful that we finally got a good one to take the kids out to. I see you guys in WhatsApp getting ready for Christmas. I think it's too early to start decorating for Christmas. I know Alicia, she like just got out our fall Thanksgiving decorations. So please don't encourage her to go get a Christmas tree and have to redecorate the house already. Give it like another week or two at least until maybe Thanksgiving. I think after Thanksgiving is a time that you can celebrate for Christmas. But maybe we should start playing some Christmas music as the intro to these songs here. So, okay, cool. I got you guys in WhatsApp that you've got me loud and clear there. So, hey, great week so far this week, guys. It's the 1st of November. How crazy is that? We've got 2 months left to wrap up this year. And so many of you are on track to just have a record-breaking year. And I can't wait to see that for you and for your family. And I also can't wait for Cancun. All right. I love seeing that little intro video of the resort in Cancun that we'll all be going to, because there are a ton of you who have already locked in that qualification. And I know once we send out production numbers for this past month, there's going to be even more of you. So my goal is to get the whole agency on that airplane to Cancun so we can all go have some fun here. So let's keep working hard the next 2 months. It's all we got left, 2 months to lock in that trip for you and for a +1. So it's going to be an exciting end of the year as we run towards locking that trip in and locking in those record years for you guys. So nice work. The Agent of the Year race is a tight one. I know we've got Erin leading the way. She's got a pretty good jump, but Savannah and Joni are right behind her. So I'm wondering who's going to take home Agent of the Year, who's going to take home Rookie of the Year. All right. I know Jody has been crushing it this year. So there's a lot of rookies putting up some big AP. So lots of cool awards that are going to get announced here really in just the next 2 months. So let's keep pushing hard, guys. But on today's call, I wanted to change it up a little bit, right? We've been talking about insurance. We've been talking about selling. I loved Wednesday's call, getting to hear from Julie and Becky, 2 agents that have just crushed it really ever since they got started in this career. So I love getting to hear that call. If you didn't hear that call, go back on the page and you can watch it. But on today's call, I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to kind of step away from selling the insurance, from the presentation aspect of it. And what we're going to jump into is something that I think is so important for you as an agency owner. And that is biblical truths regarding financial freedom, right? Now, you guys all know this, right? I believe you have a right to believe in whatever it is that you want to. But for us and for this agency and what I've seen in our business, I've noticed that if I stray away from these things get really hectic. Things get really stressful. But if I stay grounded in them, all right, then it just makes life so much more peaceful, right? So much more prosperous, if you will. So I'm going to go into this here. Now, I'm not a preacher by any means, so bear with me. But these are 3 things that I've noticed that have just really helped us in this industry as we ran towards that goal of financial freedom. And I know so many of you on this call, that's why you're in this job, right? That's why you found yourself here. You were doing something different. All right. Maybe you were a nurse, a teacher, heck, a banker, you name it, right? People have came from all different industries. There's been construction, military, anything, right? I think any industry is what I've seen. So you came from that industry to get your license, to go through that process, to go out there in the field or to be making the phone calls, right? To run towards financial freedom. And I think that if we're not careful, if we forget, like, what are the actual steps laid out for us to hit that goal, then we're never really going to see it, right? And so these biblical truths, right, is what I'm going to name it, I think will really help you as you are on your journey towards hitting that financial freedom goal, like so many of you have on the call, right? It's why you're out there doing what you're doing. So number one, right, and this is kind of counterintuitive, but it's probably one of my favorites, is avoid the love of money. Okay. It says that straight in the Bible, avoid the love of money. I think that we as a society and as a whole, we've totally made it to where people they identify themselves with what they have, right? They identify themselves with the amount of money that they're making, with what the house that they live in. None of that really matters, right? I know I might push some buttons by saying that, but at the end of the day, you can't take it with you when you're gone. And I think that one of the biggest steps towards hitting financial freedom is to actually not love money so much, right? It's okay to want it. So you kind of need it, all right, to survive, but don't put your identity and your focus into what your paycheck says, right? It doesn't define who you are, right? So that's number one, is if you're running towards financial freedom, avoid making money a false idol. Okay. The less you love it, the more of it you're going to make. All right. It's just a tool. It's a piece of paper. Don't overcomplicate it, right? It's not God. So think about that. Avoid the love of money. As you guys are building your agencies, as you're doing that, as you're out there knocking on doors, all right, if you are so focused on how much money you're making, you're going to be miserable. All right. And you're probably not going to sell a lot because you're going to have commission breath going up to these doors. You're going to be trying to put clients in something that you really shouldn't be, just to make a sale off of it, make a commission, go pay your bill, right? So that all of that's just an entangled mess. So if you really want to see financial freedom in this industry, you have to avoid the love of money. And I know it's opposite, right? I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying the less you love it, the more of it you'll actually make. All right. So that's number one. Number two, all right, second biblical truth running towards financial freedom in this industry is be a good steward of it. Guys, that commission check that you make, 100% of it is not yours, right? That commission check you make, you have to be a good steward over it. What do I think of when I think of the word steward? I think about like a protector, like somebody that's keeping watch. All right. I picture like, well, just kind of just like it says, like a sheep, like a bunch of sheep in a pasture, right? And someone's watching over them. That's kind of how you have to be, all right, with your finances as you're running towards financial freedom. Are you keeping watch of it, right? Are you tracking it? Are you setting a certain amount aside towards taxes, retirement, all that good stuff, savings? So if it tells us that in the Bible, I think that's a step, all right, that God wants us to take, because ultimately whatever we have is something that he gave us. So I think that's a step he wants us to pay attention to, is are we actually being a good steward over it, right? Like, are we looking at what's coming in and what's going out? Are we keeping track of that as a business owner? What does that look like for you right now, right? So if you want to hit that goal of having financial freedom in this industry, not being stressed out over groceries or gas or whatever it is, right? If you want to live a prosperous life with that, you have to be a good steward. You got to keep watch of it. All right. It's funny. If I neglect something, it's crazy how messed up it gets so quick. All right, I'll give you guys a good example of this. There's a little rental house that we went through and we had some title issues with it. So I didn't pay much attention to it until the title issues, worked themselves out. And so it was probably like 4 months, right? And I just had completely forgotten to keep watch of that property because I didn't want to put any money into it. I didn't want to do any work to it, right? As we were working through these title issues. Well, I show back up to it. And when I left, the last time I seen that house, the grass was cut nice. There was no weeds. There was nothing growing on the house, right? Just a few months later of me not tending to that, I showed up and it literally looked like vines encompassed the whole house, right? Like there was just the grass was destroyed. The house was covered in dirt and vines. And I'm like, it was crazy what just a little bit of neglect could do to something that I thought was fine. And that's the same thing, right? With your finances as an agency owners, if you're neglecting it, if you're not paying attention to it, if you're not being a good steward over it, it'll turn into that house. Like you'll have weeds coming up that you didn't even know. You'll have subscriptions coming out of that checking account that you didn't even know you signed up for, right? So being a good steward, I think that's one of the most important biblical truths regarding money, all right, as you guys run towards that in this career, run towards financial freedom. And then lastly is one of my favorite ones, and that's to work heartily. I probably didn't say that right, but that's okay. So you guys could correct me. I think I work heartily, right? But it basically says to work as for the Lord and not for men. All right. And that's something that I had to constantly remind myself of out there in the field is I'm not working for myself. I'm not working for somebody else. All right. I'm ultimately everything I do is a reflection of him. So when I'm in the house sitting down with a client, am I portraying him or am I not working the right way? Right. So I think that being able to work is such a blessing. All right. And if you pick the right job, you pick the right career, pick the right company, it doesn't even feel like work, right? You just get to have fun. All right. This is the first time that I've just felt like, hey, we're not even working, right? We're just building a life. And I think that could be the same for you if you attack this job with that mentality of you're working for him, you're not working for man. All right. And or whatever you're doing throughout the day, all right, whatever your interactions are with your clients out there in the field or with your agents as you build your teams up, are you portraying that, right? Are you just working for man? Okay. There's a difference. There's some people that go out there, they just absolutely hate their job, right? And it's because they feel like they're working for everybody else. But if you go out there, no matter what job you have, if you go out there with the sense of I'm doing this for him and you work towards it for him, try to glorify him in what you're doing, it's amazing how you start loving that job, how the job gets easier, how you start running across more opportunities for growth in what you're doing. So guys, those were just some quick tips for you as you guys run towards that goal towards the end of this year, right? 2 months left. So many of you are running for a record year. So many of you guys are running towards paying things off, buying that new house, everything, right? You've got a lot of awesome goals that I love seeing you guys run towards. But those 3 truths can keep you grounded so that you actually see those goals come to fruition. So number 1, avoid the love of money, right? You should be the same person, whether you got a lot of it or a little of it, or you lost it all today. This shouldn't matter. Okay. Number 2, be a good steward of it, right? Keep watch of it. Don't do what I did with that house and just let it go, right? Because it caused me to do 10 times as much work to fix everything than if I had just paid attention to it, right? Same thing with financial freedom is be a good steward of it. And then number 3, work heartily. Guys, everything that you go to do today, you get to do, right? You don't have to do it. All right. There's power, right, in attacking the day with the mentality of, wow, this is an amazing thing that I get to do, right? I get to walk. I get to breathe. I get to go knock on doors. I get to make the phone calls. If you go out there with an optimistic point of view, hitting that goal of financial freedom, is very, very easy, right? But if you go out there pessimistic and you're moaning and groaning and it's the end of the week and you've been beat up this week, all right, you got to change that attitude. Attitude is everything when it comes to being a business owner, right? It infiltrates everything you do. A bad attitude will ruin your business. If you have a good, positive, enlightening, faithful attitude, okay, it's going to make it grow significantly. So that's all I got for you guys on today's call. It's Friday. All right, let's go have an awesome day out there and finish this week strong. All right. And if you are already decorating for Christmas and have the Christmas tree up, just don't send a picture to Alicia because I don't want to do that this weekend. We got a few weeks left before we got to decorate for Christmas. So I appreciate you guys for jumping on here. Awesome job so far this week. Let's keep running hard and we'll be back here on Monday.